هاي مستر.
وبعدين ازيك؟
الحمد لله مستر، انت كيف حالك؟
عاوزك تقول ولا امتحانات ايه؟ نو ستوب نو ستوب اكزامز.
Mister, I can barely hear you. Your voice isn't clear.
وانا بسمعه.
Mister, try again.
What about now? Is it better ولا؟
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Okay, بقول لك how is school يعني non stop exams ولا ايه؟
Yeah, of course, it's your fault.
Non stop. Okay. And how is the AP؟ مدرسة عاملة ايه؟
Yeah,
How is the AP going؟
good.
You are
إن شاء الله يعني good.
حاول تحلي شوية أسئلة ولا
Yeah, of course. I'm always doing FRQ for periodics وهيك.
Okay. طيب
حتى MCQ.
طيب you are not sending me anything. This means that things are going okay. الأسئلة سهلة ولا
Yeah, but Mister, to be honest, I have a problem with in the last chapter, the one about like when you add impurities, what happens to the vapor pressure and stuff like that,
okay.
or the melting point.
The idea is not very clear. Let's have a look. احنا كنا واخدين قبل كده زمان هي البوينتنج بوينت share كمان. Can you see the screen؟
Yeah.
احنا كنا خدنا في grade 10 ان البوينتنج بوينت والفريزنج point is affected by the impurities.
Yeah.
So how it's affected by impurities? When you add impurities, when you increase the impurities, the boiling point will increase and the freezing point will decrease. The more impurities that you put, the more the boiling point will be, and the less the freezing point will become.
Mister, what are like examples of impurities?
So this is water, and this is water with salt. This is pure water. The boiling point is high, and this is water with salt. Well, boiling point is higher than the regular water. If you add more salt, this is an impurity. It's not just pure water. Add more. So the boiling point keeps increasing. عشان كده احنا دايما when we are cooking egg, what you are doing, if you want to cook the egg easier, just put some salt. Why? Because if you add salt to the water, the boiling point بتاعت المية هتزيد. So all the temperature that you are giving while heating does not cause the water to reach its boiling point. أنا عمال أسخن في المية the egg is being cooked while the boiling point is not yet reached because it increased. That's why we add salt when we are cooking. Anyway, the more impurities that you put, the more the temperature boiling point will be. And the السؤال اللي انت كنت بعته لي مثلا كان example بيقول لك calcium chloride and sodium chloride. When calcium chloride, this is one compound. When it breaks down, it forms how many ions? It forms one calcium and one chloride and one chloride. So how many ions it formed?
3.
3 ions. Well, here, how many ions are I formed?
2.
Just 2. So which one of these forms more ions? The calcium chloride. That's why it is considered to be more impure. If you put 100 calcium chloride, how many ions you are going to get? 300. And if you put 100 sodium chloride compound, you will get only 200 particles. Which one is more impure? This one is more impure. We have 300 particles inside, 300 ions, but here you have only 200. So this one is more impure. So if you want to compare the freezing point, which one becomes less? The freezing point here becomes less. Why? Because it's more impure. We said when you increase the impurities, what happened to the freezing point?
It decreases.
So it decreased more. عشان كده السؤال بتاعنا كان بيقول the more suppression happens, So it will say some more suppression happens for the freezing point. So which one is the freezing point will be less? This one. Why? Because there is more impurities. Now, did you notice that when he compared the impurities, he compared the impurities with the same concentration, 0.1 and 0.1. He didn't put two different concentrations. Why? What if he said 0.2 and sodium chloride and 0.1 and calcium chloride, which is more impure this time?
NaCl.
Oh, this time it's NaCl because I have more ions here. I don't care about the number of ions because this 1.2, it will give me more ions. So it's already more even before breaking down. Before even breaking down, it will be more. So if I increase more like 0.3, it will be even more. 0.4, it's even more. Because that's why when he compared, he gave us equal number of concentration so that I will not be confused ان هو غير حاجتين في نفس الوقت. هيبقى غير الكونسنتريشن وغير الايه الايونز. طيب what other point you're speaking about؟ كنا بنتكلم على الفريزنج بوينت والبويلنج بوينت وعلى ايه كمان؟ والكوندكتيفيتي. So احنا بنقول ان الكوندكتيفيتي the ionic compounds conduct electricity because it has ions. طب if you have more ions, so conductivity will be electrical conductivity more. It has more ions, 300 instead of 200 only, so this will be conducting electricity more. Okay?
Okay.
Right. So shall we continue with unit 5 or do you prefer another part?
No, this is just the point where I was confused. It's fine now.
Right. So now you are going with the school, which means that you didn't take anything about unit 5 أو أي حاجة منها صح؟
Unit 5 is chapter 12.
Unit 5 is chapter 12 exactly.
No, we didn't start chapter 12 yet.
What about 11?
Yeah, we started, but barely. We barely did anything from 11.
How is tab 10 going? Chapter 11, I mean, chapter 11, how did it go?
Chapter 11 is
How did it start المرة اللي فاتت؟
yeah, it's easy. It's basic formulas.
Okay,
The only question I was confused is the one I sent you
okay.
in chapter 11.
طيب في سؤال كانت بعته لي أميرة مثلا I want to discuss it with you, this one. A simple calculation just to have a look about it. This something, for example, this one. Let's have a look. This is the shape. This one, for example, let's try to do it. Calcium chloride has a lattice energy of -2258. The enthalpy of hydration of ions are so and so. How do you find the enthalpy of solution? What do you think?
Enthalpy of solution is negative lattice energy plus hydration of cation and anion.
Okay, so that's the H of hydration of cation and cation plus anion minus LE هيدينا delta H of solution. So what is the delta hydration of cations and anions? I would say 1650 and
negative 364, which gives me negative 2014.
but this one is Cl minus, take care. And this is Cl2.
Multiply by 2.
I have to multiply this one by 2 to consider every ion of the fluorine. And then all of that will be subtracted from the 2258. So what I will get?
Mister, I have a question. When they told us lattice energy is negative, so we add another negative for the equation ولا بس هاي negative?
Yes, for sure. I have to make negative, that negative. So minus, minus, because this is negative and minus. So minus, minus. I didn't write minus here. This is the negative of the negative.
So it becomes positive.
Yeah, it will become positive.
I got negative 20 and negative 120.
Negative 120, that's good. Okay. Fine. Hey, خلينا نتكلم في الكاينetics. Okay, Mahna? Did you have a chance to see the video or not much? The video
I watched some of it.
Huh?
I watched a bit of it.
Okay. So let's just make a fast review about the video علشان نكمل عليه. Okay, not too much to be يعني considered. We just talk about the most important part اللي هي الجزء الأولاني بتاعه اللي هو how to find the rates. This is a small part, يعني it's not very important part, but still some questions will come in it. We must know how to calculate the rate of a chemical reaction. وكل الفكرة كلها إن هو بيقول لي إن the rate has to always be a positive value. So the rate is a positive value. طب Mr. But sometimes when you have a reactant, the reaction concentration is decreasing, صح؟ So the reaction concentration is decreasing. When the reaction concentration is decreasing, so if you try, أنا بعمل الريت إزاي؟ It's a change in the concentration divided by the change in the time. يعني أنا كان عندي concentration مثلا بتاعي 0.5 and it became 0.1. So this is the reactants because they are decreasing. And I have a product, for example, the concentration was 0.3 and become 0.8 because it's increasing. And then divide this by the time in which this decrease or increase happens, divided by time. 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 1 minute, 2 hours, so and divided by the time. Let's see one example. مثلا أنا عندي هنا 2H2 plus O2. It changes from 0.3 into 0.5. When time again من 10 seconds to 0 seconds. كان عندي concentration مثلا كان 0.3 وبقى 0.5. So the change
Mister, how did they know? How did they know that the concentration was 0.3 and 0.5?
well, they measure the concentration in the solution. They measure the concentration. So يجي اور زي انت عايزه تسالي في السؤال ولا in life practically?
No, I'm saying in the question, يعني they didn't give this information.
They didn't give any information here, but let's say just to know how it is subtracted. So let's say 0.3 at the beginning and 0.5 at the beginning, at the end. It was started with 0.3, and after some time, not at the end of the reaction, otherwise all the reactant will be consumed. It will be 0.5, and 10 seconds has passed. So subtracting 0.3 minus 0.5, it will give me 0.1. I'm telling you, mistake here extra 0. So this is 0.2 molar per second. Molar divided هي صح 0.2. Then I divided by 10. Yeah, it's correct. So divided by 10 seconds. So it will be 0.02 molar per second. Which means, yeah, Mr. in every second that passed, the hydrogen has decreased in its concentration by 0.02. ازاي يا مستر؟ كانت 0.3 في الأول صح؟ بعد 1 second بقت 0.3 minus 0.02. So it become 0.3 minus 0. لا هي مثلا أنا بدأت ب 0.5 أنا آسف. أعمل كده من 0.5 to 0.3. This is the subtraction. 0.5 0. So we start with 0.5 and then I will subtract 0.02 حدثها 0.48. وبعدين نقص الثاني 0.02 بقت 0.46, 0.44, 0.42. So every second that's passing, you are decreasing what?
The concentration.
The concentration of the reactants, and the products are increasing. So you are seeing how many or how much of the concentration is increasing or decreasing. طب أنا عايز الفاليو تكون positive يا مستر. While when you are talking about the rate, you are decreasing it. So the value will be by negative. So the value will be by negative. So what to do so that the value is not by negative? You put negative in the case of reactant. يبقى أنا عندي الرياكشن بتاعتي كانت بتقول إن A reacted with B to form C. And the number of moles of A is A, and number of moles of B is B small, and this is C small. So what is the rate? It's equal to a change in the concentration, the change in the concentration of A divided by the change in time. The concentration كان كذا في الأول وبقى كذا, but I have to multiply this by -1. So why did you multiply it by -1? علشان تخلي الفاليو بتاعتك تطلع في الآخر إيه؟ Positive value. And if you are looking for the change in the concentration of the reactant التاني برضه negative. ليه يا مستر خليته negative? so that when you multiply the negative by negative, you get a positive value for the rate divided by delta t. But what happens when you are in the products? Will you do the same? No. This time I will make it multiplied by 1 only. Why you didn't multiply it by negative? Because the concentration of products is not decreasing. It is what? Increasing. That's why you will keep it positive as it is. And then every time you divide by the number of moles. Why you are dividing by the number of moles? A here, B here, C here, so that you know that the change per mole is so and so. هيبان أكتر ما يكون في مسألة بالأرقام. Let's have a look. عندي الأكشن مثلا x plus 2y. So x plus 2y give us z plus 3q. بيقول لي I see that the decrease of x is 2.10 to the power of negative 3 mole per liter per second. يعني الكونسنتريشن يا مستر بتاع الاكس in every second بيقل قد ايه؟ 2 to 10 to the power of negative 3 mole in every liter. This is the unit of what? The concentration.
Concentration.
And what is second? This is the unit of the time. مش انت قلت الريت بتساوي التشينج في الكونسنتريشن على التشينج of time. So what is the unit of the rate? It is the unit of the change in the concentration, which is mole per liter, divided by the unit of the change in time, which is second. كل سكند بيقل 2 في 10 to the power of negative 3. عايز الانيشال ريت بتاع الديكريز الواي. عايز الانيشال ريت بتاع الديكريز بتاع الواي. انت قلت لي الكونسنتريشن بتاع الاكس الريت بتاعه كام؟ 2 في 10 to the power of negative 3. طب عايز اجيب الواي. نعمل بالريشيوز يا مستر. So I'll make it by the ratio. So this one is the ratio is 1 to 2. صح؟ مش كده؟ What is the rate of y? What is the rate of y? If you have the rate of x is 2 10 to the power of negative 3. It's very clear that you will do to find the rate of y. It will be 2 multiplied to 10 to the power of negative 3, which is
4 times 10 to the power negative
4
3.
times 10 to the power of negative 3. Of course, the value that you give me has to be in negative, and then you multiply it by negative. So you will get what? Positive 4 10 to the power of 10. So y in every second, it's decreasing by 4 to multiply 10 to the power of negative 3 mole per liter per second. Okay, let's see another one. This is CO2 reacts plus 4H2 to give us CH4 plus 2H2O. So you only consider the reaction of formation. The rate of formation is كل 1 hour بيعمل لي 12 moles. So 12 moles are formed per hour. What is the rate of disappearance of H2? يعني ايه rate of disappearance مثلا؟ انت بتقول rate, this is the rate of production because this is a product. And this is the rate of disappearance or the rate of consumption. This is the rate of consumption because this is reactants. طيب يا مستر هعمل نفس الكلام. انت قلت هنا الريشيو للهيدروجين لل H2O is 1 to 2. And what is the rate of this one? The formation of
12 over 1.
قال لي the rate of disappearance of H2 كام؟ إذا كانت the rate of formation of H2O is 12.
Mister, I need to change it to seconds or I keep it in hours?
So I have to change it into seconds or hours according to the units that he's asking me. So according to the rate, لو أنا بشتغل في حاجة الريت بتاعها hours, so I will not change it unless he's asking me. بيقول لي الرست ده بيحصل أو chemical reaction بيحصل كذا في الhour. So if it makes sense as it is and no need to change it, then I will not change it unless he's asking me to get it in a different value. طيب العادة في الكيميكال رياكشنز الصغيرة I will change it into seconds unless it's too much, it doesn't mean anything to change it. يعني السؤال زي دوت مثلا I'll keep it in hours as it is. طب خلينا نشوف الريشيو هتبقى عاملة ازاي. 2 moles of water are produced every time 4 moles of H2 are consumed. صح؟ So if I have 12 moles per hour are formed in per hour, how many moles of hydrogen is consumed per hour? So again, I'm looking for the ratio again. So 12 multiplied 4 divided by, so 12 first multiplication, 12 multiplied by 4, which is 12 multiplied by 2. So 24 moles is formed per hour. كل الأسئلة دي بس مش فايدتها الأسئلة تيجي في الامتحان. This is just to give you a sense about what is the meaning of the rate of the reaction. So the rate of the reaction is the speed of how things are changing. هيبقى مفيد لنا بعد كده في الريت لو بس يعني this not الأسئلة اللي هتيجي في الامتحان زي ما هي بس نوعية إن أنا أفهم يعني إيه rate of reaction. So what is the rate of the reaction? How fast the products are formed وهاو فاست the reactants are consumed. طب هعرف منين حكايه الفورمد والكونسيومد؟ ببص على الكونسنتريشن because the concentration is the thing that will tell me if it is consumed or produced. لو زاد يبقى زادت، لو قل يبقى consumed. والكونسنتريشن هعمله per unit time زي الريت بتاع اي حاجه، بعملها per unit time. ده رياكشن مثلا ما بين H2 and I2. So I2 and H2 الكونسنتريشن بتاعهم by time ال H2 يعمل رياكشن مع ال I2 عشان يديني 2HI. This is a reversible reaction by the way. So by time ال H2 and I2 الكونسنتريشن بتاع ال I2 starts to decrease. يعني كده وده لونهم بيكون ايه؟ اللون بتاعهم بيكون dark. So their color are dark purple بينما الكلر بتاعه دوت clear. So by time I will see that the color gets clearer. Why? Because it's mostly HI. هنا كان mostly I2. ال I2 يديني الدارك color بتاع الايودين. Slowly the concentration decreases and becomes mostly HI. يبقى concentration of the reactants decrease and the concentration of HI
increase.
طيب تعال نشوف ابلكيشن الايكويشن اللي احنا اتكلمنا عليها من شويه. The hydrogen and iodine react together to form hydrogen iodide as shown in the equation. Suppose you are given a time interval for 10 seconds or 2 بيساوي 20 seconds and change in its hydrogen concentration من 0.200 في الأول إلى 0.185. Use the reaction equation to calculate the average rate of reaction during the time period. So the concentration of H2 في 0.1 كان 0.200 وبعدين decreased into 0.185. من أول ما كان 10 seconds بس لغاية 20 seconds. So the time that passed is 10 seconds. So what is the reaction rate? احنا قلنا هنعمل ايه؟ قلنا to find the reaction rate هقول it is negative لو كانت في حالة reactants. So the equation says H2 plus I2 forms 2HI. So قلنا لو في حالة reactants I'll make it negative or positive. I'll make it negative divided by the number of moles which is 1 mole. And then what is the change in the concentration? Change of the concentration of H2 divided by change of time. نرجع تاني equation is equal to what? Negative 1 عشان هي reactant divided by the number of moles multiplied by change in concentration of reactants divided by change in the time. طيب يبقى negative 1 على 1 multiplied by change in H2. ال change in H2 بيساوي كام؟ اللي عندي كان كام؟ كان 0.185 اللي هو time 2 minus 0.210 والتايم من 20 ل 10. ده التشينج اللي حصل في الكونسنتريشن وده التشينج اللي حصل في التايم. So it's equal to دي هتديني negative value but it will be cancelled. So this one will give me a negative value but it will be cancelled by this one. So I'll get a positive value which is 0.025 mole وأقسمها على 10 seconds. So it will give me 0.0025 mole per liter per second minus 1. I'm sorry, mole per liter per second. يعني ايه mole per liter per second يا مستر؟ How it is made mole per liter per second؟ الكونسنتريشن بيساوي ايه؟ concentration over time.
Number of moles.
What is the concentration? Mole. So mole is up.
Mole over volume.
So mole over volume which is liter and then down there is still time. So it is second. So you can write it like that. Mole divided by LS or mole L minus 1 S minus 1. So both of them are correct. If it's a mole divided ls, طالما كتبت divided, so you need to make this negative 1. لو كتبتها mole multiplied by, so معنى ذلك ان انا طلعتها فوق. لو طلعت دي فوق هتبقى n minus 1 and multiplied by s minus 1. If it's multiplication, it will be minus 1. If it's division, it will be still positive as it is. It's still in the denominator. Okay?
Okay.
طيب دي بس الايديا اللي في بعد كده النقطة الثانية اللي هي ال rates of the reaction. That's easy. We're not going to discuss this now. هنتكلم عليها لما نكون بنتكلم على الشابتر واحنا في نشرح المنهج بتاع السلايدات بس. اللي انا عايز اتكلم عليه دلوقتي بعد كده اللي هي rate of the reaction. This is the important part. It's important to start to نتكلم عليها. A little bit difficult بس لو اديناها شوية تفكير ووقت will be okay. طيب. احسن طريقه للشرح بتاعتها بتكون الشرح بتاع الاكزامبل. انا عندي حاجتين او two types of equations that I will use. انت سامعني كويس يا لين؟ في مشكله في الانترنت.
Yeah, Mr. I can hear you.
Okay. So there are two types of rate laws. What is the rate law? The rate law is the equation that will help me to understand the rate of the reaction, because not all the reactions are increasing or decreasing in the same way. انا ما عنديش مشكله في الريت يا مستر. لغايه دلوقتي انا عارف ان الريت هو how the concentration changes per time. So concentration change per time. This is an easy concept because anything changing by time is rate. دايما قبل كده قلنا if you need to know what is the rate of the growth of a plant يبقى انا بشوف ايه؟ the change in its length صح؟ في التايم. بقول زاد الطول بتاع النبات دوت 100 سنتيمتر على 10 سنتيمتر in 1 month. او عايز اشوف الانسان دوت وزنه زاد او لا، فاقول زاد مثلا 15 كيلو جرام in 1 month. So this is the change rate per time. This is an easy concept. مش صعب قوي. المشكله مش في ده، المشكله ان الريت نفسه is not fixed. المشكله ان الريت بتاع الرياكشن is not fixed. So for example لما ابص على الريت بتاع مثلا الفوليوم بتاع معمل المغنيسيوم مع ال HCl يديني MgCl2 plus H2. This is the salt plus water. The issue is that this is not fixed. يعني at the beginning of the reaction the rate is a little bit fast. So it becomes fast. So rate itself starts to change. And after some time the reaction rate starts to slow down. ليه؟ لأن الكونسنتريشن نفسها بتاعت الرياكتنت is decreasing until sometimes then the reaction rate will be not changing. ايه اللي ما بيتغيرش يا مستر؟ الكونسنتريشن اللي ما بيتغيرش؟ لا مش بس الكونسنتريشن ما بيتغيرش، الريت كمان هيبقى different. يبقى هنا حصل عندي three rates of the reaction. This is a fast rate, this is a slow rate, and then here there is no change at all. The reactants already consumed او على الاقل الليميتنج ريجنت حتى لو كانوش الاثنين. لو عندي limiting reagent بس at least مثلا لو كان ده excess وده limiting, so this one will be consumed, so there is no change in the concentration. والبرودكتس هيبقى نفس الكلام بس it will be the opposite. So the reactants ده اللي هو البرودكت ده البرودكتس طبعا, and the reactants will start to decrease برضه, and then it will be fixed by time. لو عندي حاجه مثلا excess. So the issue is not in the concept of the rate على قد ما هي انه في اساسا changing rate. طيب في حاجه بيقول لي انه there are two types of rate laws. انا عندي نوعين من انواع الريت laws. I have two types of rate laws. ايه هم الريت laws اللي بعرف بيهم الريت of the reaction؟ الفيرست one is called the differential rate law والتاني اسمه integrated rate law. Don't be afraid from the names. The names is a little bit confusing, but we just need to practice and put it in the exam. So on the integrated rate law and the differential rate law. الاثنين بيعتمدوا على حاجة اسمها الريت constant أو الكي. So both of them is called K is the rate constant. This is a fixed value. So الاثنين بيعتمدوا على حاجة اسمها الكي أو على الريت constant. خلينا نشوف شوية أمثلة عشان نعرف إزاي الريت constant ده أنا ممكن I can calculate. طيب this is the first example and خلينا نعمل واحدة واحدة كده. This is a reaction. The reaction says that this is the reaction between 2x and y to form z and the following results were obtained. ايه حكاية الريزلتس دي مثلا؟ This is the rule number one that we will have here, that the reaction rate أو rate constant which we will call k, the constant of the rate, can never be found except when you make the reaction. مفيش أي طريقة خالص هتعرفني إيه هو الكي ريت كونستانت أو الرياكشن ريت أو أعرف التايب أوف ذا رياكشن ريت اللي إحنا هنتكلم عليها دلوقتي غير when you do it practically. There is no way that you look at the reaction. مستحيل أبص على الرياكشن كده وأقول الرياكشن دوت نوعه كذا أو سرعته كذا. You have to make the reaction and get the concentrations, and then once you see the changes and concentrations you can know the reaction rate and the reaction rate. خلينا نبص على اكزامبل على السؤال ده عشان نعرف what does this mean. انا عندي اكسبيرمنت هنا بتقول لي this is the x0 which means the concentration of the x initially when the time was equal to 0, and this is the concentration of y initially. What is the initially when the time was 0, and this is the rate of the reaction. How did he find this one? Practically he divided زي ما احنا عملنا من شويه ال change in concentration على ال change of time ولقى الرقم ده، يعني 2.4 مثلا مول per liter per second، هنا 9.6 مول per liter per second، هنا 3.2 مول per liter per second. ايه ده يا مستر؟ the rate of the reaction. هو جاب ارقام والارقام ديت اللي هتساعده ان هو يعمل الكالكوليشن. يقول لي what is the rate law for this reaction. ابص كده علشان اعرف الريت لو والقانون بتاعي اطلعه لازم ابص على الاثنين رياكتنس اللي عندي x and y and see what happening in them. هاخد اثنين experiments. This is the first experiment. ابتديت ب 0.3 و 0.8 والريت كان كذا. الثانيه ابتديت ب 0.3 و 1.6 غيرت الارقام. خلينا نبص على الاكسبيرمنتس الاولانيه والثانيه. What did you notice here? The concentration of x initially was the same. يبقى امسك experiment 1 and experiment 2. Experiment 1 and what is the concentration of x here? 0.3. And what is the concentration here? It is 0.3. What about the concentration of y? 0.8. What is the concentration of y here? 1.6. ما بين 1 و 2 is there a change in the rate ولا no change? It is the same rate. هل الرياكشن بقى اسرع او ابطا؟ بقى اسرع. في experiment 1 رغم ان هم كلهم معمولين لنفس ايه يا ليان؟ the same reactants and products and the same reaction. So this is all the same reaction. كل الفرق ان هو عمل different experiments ب different concentration. هل حصل تغيير في الريت ولا نفس الريت؟
It's the same.
طب الريت الاولاني كام والريت الثاني كام؟
No, it increased, sorry.
increase.
2.4 and 5 with
يبقى في فرق في الريت of the reaction. This one is much faster than this one. طيب if it is faster يا مستر، انت غيرت مين؟ غيرت الاكس ولا غيرت الواي؟ انا غيرت الواي. When you change the y, there is a change in the rate of the reaction. So this, what does this mean? It means that in reaction 1 and 2, changing the concentration of y changed the rate of the reaction. يعني تقدر تقول ايه يا مستر وادد؟ can you conclude ان ال concentration of y has effect on the rate of the reaction. In the rate of the reaction. This is the most important part اللي احنا لازم عايزين نفهمها واحدة واحدة تاني. So you need to know that يا مستر, you need to know that changing the concentration of y has effect on the rate. لما غيرت الكونسنتريشن، هي ايه الحاجات اللي كانت بتأثر على rate of reaction من السنة اللي فاتت؟ الكونسنتريشن، التمبريتشر. لما بحط كاتاليست يا مستر الريت اوف ذا رياكشن انكريزز. لما بزود التمبريتشر الريت بيزيد، صح؟ لما بزود
yeah.
الكونسنتريشن الريت بيزيد. لما بزود البريشر الريت بيزيد. كل الحاجات دي كانت بتزود لي الريت. انا I discovered practically that if you change the concentration of y the rate will change. change قد ايه بالظبط يا مستر؟ When you, what did you do to the concentration of y? You
We doubled it.
Allah عليك, doubled it. What happened to the concentration of 9.6? بتحول من 2.4 into 9.6. So it's changed multiplied by 4.
4.
كويس جدا. So when you changed the concentration of y doubled, the rate of the reaction was multiplied by 4. So this one was multiplied by 2. The rate was multiplied by 4. طيب يبقى انا علشان اعرف تاثير الواي على الريت اضطريت اعمل ايه؟ اضطريت اثبت الاكس. Why did you make this 0.3 and 0.3؟ لان انا يا مستر لو كنت عملت الاثنين بيتغيروا ما كنتش عارف التغيير ده سببه ايه؟ هل الريت اتغير بسبب الاكس ولا بسبب الواي؟ زي بالظبط كده لما اكون قاعد في البيت والاقي دوشه جامده جدا جدا جدا، خلاص؟ فاول حاجه بعملها ايه؟ بقوم موطي صوت كل حاجه عندي، او موطي صوت الموبايل بتاعي وصوت التلفزيون اللي شغال عندي، صح؟ ليه بعمل كده؟ عشان اعرف الدوشه دي جايه منين؟ من عندي انا ولا من ايه؟ من بره. هنا نفس الكلام. if I want to know the concentration is the rate is affected, is it affected by y ولا ب x? So what did I do to the x? I fixed the x. I fixed the x. So now if there is any change, I will be sure that the change is due to y, not due to x. Let me just remove this one. So بس. طيب if you want to see if x has effect برضه ولا لا، لازم تعمل ايه في الواي؟
You have to keep it constant.
Bravo. So now we will talk about 2 and 3. Now you will talk about 2 and 3 and see what happens. Mister, when you compare 2 and 3, you see that the x now is changing. The x now is what? Is changing, while the y
Constant.
is constant. So if there is a change in the rate, so this is because that there is an effect of changing x. So let's have a look. ايه اللي حصل يا مستر في الاكس وايه اللي حصل في الواي؟ في الواي is fixed. When you decrease the concentration by what?
By 3.
Divided by 3. What happens to the rate? It's also divided by 3. نفس الكلام اللي حصل المره اللي فاتت ولا مختلف؟ لا شويه مختلف. المرة اللي فاتت when you increase the concentration of y by 2 the rate increased not by 2 مش بنفس الريشيو it is by 4 لو كانت بنفس الريشيو كان معنى ذلك ايه؟ ان انت لو هنا increased by 2 الريت increased by 2 so this is 1 to 1 لا this didn't happen امال ايه اللي حصل يا مستر؟ it's doubled هنا quadrupled ضربت في 4 لكن when you decrease the concentration of x divided by 3 نفس الكلام حصل the ratio is 1 the rate also is divided by 3 so now you can write your equation it will tell you that the rate of the reaction is equal to what a constant ايه الكونستنت ده يا مستر ايه الكونستنت ده الريت كونستنت ده الفيكسد كونستنت خلاص وبعدين هتقوم كاتب بقى الكونسنتريشن بتاع الاكس والكونسنتريشن بتاع الواي اكس and concentration بتاع الواي this one you will put it to the power of 1 why do you put it to the power of 1 mister because the ratio was 1 to 1 so the ratio was 1 to 1 so you are saying that the rate of reaction depends on a fixed value this is a constant value how do you find this fixed value by calculation only هنعرف ازاي هنطلع دلوقتي and it depends on x برضه depends on x when you change x concentration double the rate doubles triple the rate triples so the ratio here is to the power of 1 what about y بما ان انت يا مستر when you double this one the rate was quadrupled so this means this will be to the power of 2 this is the only way that you can find the rate you can do this only practically طب مستر ممكن هو ليها علاقه بالكوفيشنت بص كده على الكوفيشنت it's 2x ومحدش يجي يقول لي فاكر يا مستر ما كنت بتعمل x to the power of 2 وانت بتحسب الكي اكويليبريوم it's not related at all والا لو كلامك صح كانت بقت الاكس هي اللي باور 2 والواي هي باور 1 so this is what not related to what to الكوفيشنت الا في حاجه بعد كده هناخدها المالتيبل ستيب فراكشن so the power اللي انت اتكلمت عليه ده it's not related to the coefficient والا كانت المفروض الاكس بقت هي كام باور كام 2 y power 1 so the rate of the reaction depends on what the rate of the reaction depends on the constant value and depend on x to the power of 1 and y to the power of 2 this will be my rate law as y is doubled the rate quadrupled so the rate is proportional to y to the power of 2 and here 2 and 3 y is the same so as x decreases by 3 times the rate decreases by 3 times so it will be to the power of 1 or we don't write it as usual in chemistry this is my rate law this is what's called my rate law mister I couldn't have find this anyway except when you do the reaction practically and you get the numbers once you get the numbers you will be able to find the rate law طيب كويس Mister now he will ask you to find the k how I can find k you can just find k by putting the numbers practically يعني ايه يا مستر انا عايز اعرف الفاليو بتاعت الكي دي الريت اوف اكشن بيساوي ايه هقول له let's take any examples من اللي عندنا let's take experiment 1 what is the rate of the reaction
2.4
2.4 equal to what k multiplied by y what's y
0.8 squared
so 0.8 squared what's x
0.3
so what's k just divide 2.4 by 0.8 squared multiplied by 0.3
you get 12.5
this is the rate constant this is the rate constant if you did the same with the other numbers you must find the same value let's try it so 3.2 divided by last one مثلا 1.6 squared multiplied by 0.1. You should get the same constant because this is the same reaction. What did you get?
Yeah, 12.5.
So it should be the same because it is a fixed value for this reaction. Okay, fine, quite good. So this is how we are getting the reaction rate and how we are getting the K. You can get another example just to make sure it's correct, Bardo. So let's see. What is the reaction rate here? A little bit more complicated, so we'll have to use a different method يا مستر. أنا لسه عرفت الأولانية لما هتغير لي الطريقة. اوكي. احنا هناخد ساعة واحدة النهاردة؟ أحسن؟ هناخد 1 hour بس؟ عندنا 1 hour النهاردة نشوف الدنيا.
ايه اوكي.
We'll take 1 hour and then we'll see how it's enough or we need to increase that again.
Okay.
How many times I have? Okay. I have here for the reaction, the following results were obtained. So I'll be trying to do the same question. Yes. Okay. Mhm. Into the quick folder. Right. For the reaction 2x, so this is my reaction. 2x plus y give me 2z. I can see that there is no point even from writing the reaction because it won't be any useful. So let's see. What is the rate law for this reaction? Let's see the experiments 1 and 2 again. Where it is fixed,
X initial.
x is initially fixed and y is changing. So I will see the effect of changing y on the rate of the reaction. When I change the concentration of y, there is no change in the initial rate at all. So بس يا مستر قبل ما تكمل كده ممكن أسألك سؤال. What is the meaning of the initial rate? What is the meaning of the word initial rate? Why did you write initial rate? Because you just told me before that there is a change in the rate. الريت نفسها اللي أنت اتكلمت عليها is changing in the reaction. So there is an initial rate, there is rate, it slows down after that, then it stops after that. So you have to be talking about a certain rate. That's why we are talking about the initial rate of the reaction before it changes. طيب خلينا نقول, so Mr. if you change it, why there is no effect on the rate? Yes. So this means that your reaction rate equation is not gonna include y at all. There will be no y here. It's not gonna be included. Even يا مستر it's here and it's 1 mole and so on. انت قلت لي دلوقتي ان الريت لا يعتمد على change in K. If you increase the concentration of Y or decrease it, it's no effect on the rate of the action. So I will just not include it at all. What about X? Let's see experiment 2 and 3. When you, Mister, there is an issue here actually. I'm a little bit confused because here you changed both of them. So how can I do that? Mister, you changed X and you changed Y. You told me that you will change one of them and fix the other so that you will be able to get it. But still, there is a way that we can do it. So let's see, what is the rate of reaction 3 and rate of reaction 1? For example, he took two different rates. اشمعنى يا مستر 1 و 3 مش 2 و 3؟ ينفع ده وينفع ده. So كده كده 0.2 0.4 0.2 0.4 كده كده 3 1 البوست changed وكده كده 2 3 الاثنين changed. You can do it with 3 and 1 or you can do it with 2 and 3. It's okay. بس اهم حاجه ما تعملهاش 1 و 2 لان 1 و 2 خلاص احنا عرفنا. It doesn't depend on y and x is fixed so we will not benefit anything. So I need you to know for 3 or 1 or 2 or 3. كده كده متغيره. Let's take 3 and 1. What is the rate of the reaction of 3? It's k.
9 points. Okay, yeah.
صح؟ هل بتتاثر بالاكس؟ بتتاثر بالاكس. عرفت منين؟ There is change in the rate ما بين 2 و 3 او 1 و 3. There is a change. صح؟ So I would say it is to the power of something that I don't know. It's to the power of something that I don't know. I don't know how many times it is. Let's say it's n. So I'll say it's a to the power of n. So when I change the concentration of x between 3 and 1, I would say this is k n, and here it was 3. And for 1, I would say k x, and this is n, and I would say 1. Why did you say like that? When you compare 3, the concentration is 0.4 and the concentration is 0.2. This is the concentration of x. What about the reaction rate? It was 3 times 9.6, 2.4. So 9 to the 6 is 3 to 1. So I would say the rate is
3 and then 1.
3 to 1. The reaction rate has increased 3 times. Right. Can I divide the two rates by each other? Can I divide the two rates? Yes. So I will do rate.
What is n?
N is the number of times that I will take the power. Is the power that I'm looking for. But I'm not able to find directly because I'm changing two concentrations. ما اقدرش اكتب في equation واحده زي المره اللي فاتت. المره اللي فاتت لما عملت to the power of 2. ليه عملت to the power of 2؟ لان الاثنين كانوا ايه؟ الاثنين كان واحد فيهم فيكسد وواحد فيهم ستيبل، فقدرت اجيبها على طول. نبص على السؤال اللي فات.
Yeah, I remember.
كان ايه؟ الاثنين اكس هنا دي تشينجد وهنا دي تشينجد، لكن this time I cannot do this one لان الاثنين changed مش واحد بس فيهم. So I will say the rate of 3 بتساوي kxn اللي الرقم اللي انا عايز اعمل الباور بتاعه the required power، الرقم اللي انا هحطه في الاخر هنا لان ده هو الرقم دوت. So I will say a rate of 3 divided by rate of 1 بتساوي كام الريت of 3؟ 9.6 وكام الريت of 1؟ 2.4.
2.4
is equal to what يا مستر؟ انت بتقول x to the power n over 3 و x to the power n. الاكس في الكونسنتريشن بتاعت 3 كام؟ 0.4. مش انت قلت انا هتقسم ده على ده بيساوي ده على ده. So I have k here and I have k here. K I will cancel it with the k and then I have 0.4. This is the concentration, and in 1 the concentration was 0.2. So again it is to the power of n. I don't know what is the power. So Mr. if you divided 9.6 divided 2.4, what do you get?
4.
So it's equal to 4. And 0.4 divided by 0.2, it's
2.
2. And then to the power of n. What is n? What is the number? If I raise it to the power of 2 to the power of it will become 4. 2. So n is equal to 2. So the number that I'm looking for is 2. So this means that every time I increase the concentration of the x by a certain number, it will be doubled. If I doubled it, it will be quadrupled. If I make it by to the power of 4, it will be to the power of 16. So it is a power of 2. Yeah, Mr. يعني ايه power of 2? يعني if increase the concentration by 1, it will be, the rate will be doubled. If I increase it by, why it is doubled?
Because it's squared.
Square. So what if I increase it by 2, it will be quadrupled, and so on. And so on like that. طيب, can I do it with the other way? عشان نعمل practice نعملها 2 على 3. So let's make 2 over 3. Rate over of 2 على a rate of 3. The same thing. So I will say k x. K x. What is x in 2 and what's x in 3? X is 0.2 and in 3 it is 0.4. And then what? The rates is 2.4 divided by 9.6 is equal to 0.2 على 0.4 على n. Of course, when I make the number reverse it will be easier. دايما لما باجي اعمل الباورز اخليها العكس احسن. يعني 9.6 على 2.4 0.4 على 0.2 دايما عشان ما اجيبش عشان ما اجيبش ايه decimals. عايز اجيب easy numbers. So 0.4 to the power of n should give me the same value exactly like here. Give me the same value, which n is equal to 2. So this means that finally my reaction is a rate is equal to k to the power of
X squared.
X squared, and y is not even included. So y is not even included. مش هنوصل لغاية ده. احنا بنتكلم في الهاف لايفز ولا الميكانيزم. So we'll make the half lives and mechanisms for the next time. Okay. قبل ما نخلص آخر حاجة هنتكلم عليها هنقول إن أنا عندي 3 types of the reactions according to the reaction law. One we will call it the zero order reactions. The second is called the first order reactions, and the third is called the second order reactions. What is the zero order reactions, Mr.? It will tell me that there is no effect of changing the rate of the reaction when you change the concentration. What is first? This is like what we said to the power of 1. So if you change by certain factor, the rate will be changed by the same factor. And second order, if you change by certain factor, it will be just doubled. Okay? I think this basic ideas is just enough to start with. هيبقى عندنا بعد كده كلام تاني اكتر على الريت لوز بعد كده المره الجايه. هنتكلم كمان على الهاف لايف. Actually it depends on how much we reach it. هشوف على يوم الاربعاء لو كنا ابتدينا في الشابتر دوت هنحل شويه الاسئله بتاعت المدرسه. لو ما كانش كده هنبقى متاخرين شويه مع المدرسه. مش مشكله نكون احنا هنا سابقين شويه. Okay. Thank you again and see you Wednesday ان شاء الله.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.